Alright guys, before we begin, safety is the number one thing. Safety is the utmost important. So before you begin, first thing you do is pull up your emergency brakes. Lock that into place. Second thing you want to do, just in case your emergency brakes are kind of shabby or don't work, a lot of cars don't, you want to get you a wheel chock and chock up the side that is not being jacked up. Alright, and the side that's being jacked up is the right side. Let me go around here. I'm going to show you we got this jacked up, and this is also crucial, guys. You got to do this. Jack the car up. We got our hydraulic jack in place. Make sure you jack it up on the frame, on that big part right there. Put your jack stand into place as a foundation. I'm on concrete, but I'm good. So I'm good. But if you're on asphalt or grass, you want to make sure you get some plywood, not no particle board. Get some plywood and make sure that jack stand has a solid foundation, because if it don't, it's going to sink. And leave that jack, leave the hydraulic jack there, just as added security. Alright guys, the next thing you're going to do is remove your 4 lug nuts. Now these lug nuts are 19 millimeter. You can use 3/4, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. It might be tight and it might kind of mess it up. So use a 19 millimeter. So let's get that and take this tire off. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is remove this cover right here. Now this cover is held on by 2 10 millimeter bolts. Now what we're going to do is go up under here, and you're going to see one right there, and then go across right behind this little flap right here, and then you're going to see the other one right there. Alright, and get you about a 8-inch extension and get those 2 bolts out, and we're going to take that cover out. Alright guys, we got the last bolt out. That cover should just come right down and out of the way. Take your screws, put it with the cover, and let's put that to the side. Alright guys, now we're going to make this a lot easier for you. Now I'm about to show you the tensioner, and you can probably sneak your hand in there and try to get to it and all that, but it's going to be a lot easier this way as removing the motor mount. So the next step is take your hydraulic jack, get you a block of wood. Make sure you use a block of wood between the oil pan and the jack, because if you put that jack on that oil pan and pick it up, you will, not that you maybe, you will crack that oil pan and oil will be all over the place. So you got to have that block of wood there. And what you do is jack it up just till you feel, matter of fact, let me show you, watch it under there, just till you feel a little tension and that oil pan pick up a little bit. Okay. That's good enough right there. Alright, let's move on. Alright, the next thing you're going to do, you got 2 18 millimeter nuts right here. This is your motor mount, and it's both these nuts are bolted to the engine, and what keeps that engine up. So get your 18 millimeter. Got a 19. Get your 18 millimeter and remove those 2 nuts. Alright guys, you know what? We're going to remove the mount to make this easier. So in order to remove the mount, the first thing we got to do is get our expansion tank out of the way. The expansion tank's going to have 2 10 millimeter bolts. Get those, or screws, take those screws out. You don't have to disconnect it, just pick it up, because what happens is down there, if you look down there, you're going to see it's hooked onto it's over the post, the stud. So yeah, so you're going to just put that back and forth, and it's going to take a little movement here. Pick it up off that stud, just those right there. It's just stuck, nothing's holding anything, just that. Swing it over to the side, keep it upright because it does have coolant in it, so keep it just like that. Huh?
At least it should.
Yeah, at least it should. And then he's going to uncover the nut right here. There's a nut on the other side, and I think they're 15. Let's see, we got 15, and then you see that one right there? It's going to be right about, it's a bolt. Yeah, I'll put the socket in it. Okay, can you see my socket?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alright, now take the socket off.
Okay, got it.
All right, so you got one bolt right there, a nut on this side, and then right between here, you have another bolt, 15 millimeter. And I'm using a 15 millimeter deep, and I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch drive extension, about a 6-inch extension. You don't need no swivels or nothing. Yeah, they'll come right out, and we'll take the mount out together. All right, we got all our 3 bolts out. Just lift your mount up. You're gonna have to finagle it around. If it comes out like a little puzzle, you know, and get that out of here. Now, this is why I say remove this, because if you look down there now, we're changing our idler pulley, and it's right there. Now, you might be able to just take out the 2 nuts and lower the engine down. Let's see if we lower it down. And will it lower it down enough? Let's go get to the front. To see, we really can't see the idler. Still, the tension is in the way. Oh, we might have to move it. And also now, as you can see, it's easier to get to our 2 tensioner bolts to remove that instead of this being up in the air. All right, but the first thing we're going to do is have to take this belt off. All right. All right, guys. Now I'm kind of like under the vehicle, guys. I cannot stress this enough. You want to make sure you have a good jack stand on solid foundation, because if this car comes down on you just because doing a belt tensioner, that's kind of dumb, actually. All right, so here's our belt tensioner, and actually check that out, guys. You could look right there. See that rust right there? See, now the customer's complaint is that it was squealing. That's the bearing just being rusted out and all. That's all that's rust in there. So now here's your adjustment bolt right here that's on the tensioner. This is a 15 millimeter. What you want to do is take your 15 millimeter socket with a ratchet, and you want to go like you're tightening up. So you're going to be going clockwise. Now as you do that, you're going to loosen up tension on that belt. So watch what happens. Go a little bit more. Tension's off. Take the belt off. You don't have to take the whole belt off unless you're changing it. Take the belt off just that pulley. Let it swing back into place. Alright guys, now your tensioner is easy to take out at this point. It's just held on by 2 10 millimeter bolts. So what I like to use is a 10 millimeter deep 3/8 drive with my regular 3/8 drive ratchet. It's 1 and number 2. Alright, let's get those bolts out. Alright guys, I got the bolt almost out. I just want to show you this. Guys, take your time, go to get a nice cheap battery operated 3/8 drive ratchet. These tools will make your life a whole lot easier. So you get up in there, you can just go like that. Alright, take that bolts right out of there. Now both bolts are the same length, so you don't have to worry about getting them confused. Take the bolt out, your tensioner will pop right out just like that. Take your bolts, put them to the side, so when you put them back, you know where the bolts are. Now, looking straight up, now there's 2 ways of doing this. Now, you can move this belt over. You got your tensioner over right up under here. Matter of fact, guys, it might be easier at this point to jack your engine up now to get that idler pulley out of there. So let's jack it up, and then I'll meet you on the top. Alright guys, yeah, it's a lot easier. Jack the engine up. There's your idler pulley right there. It's held on by 1 10 millimeter bolt, and this is where your battery operated ratchet comes into place. Just go ahead, first you want to break it loose, and then just hit that little button. There, buddy. Look at that. Gets to a certain point, reach your hand down there, hey, maybe I should have did that more. See what happens? Gets spoiled with stuff. Should have just. Alright, take that out. Now you want to be careful because sometimes these things will have a little sleeve on it that you got to take off, and you got to make sure that sleeve is still in there. So get your new pulley, put it back on, get your tensioner, put it back on, and installation is exactly reversal of removal. Hold, let me see, let me check these parts now. If you look. Oh, you follow me over here, huh? Make sure you get the right parts, man. See, and
isn't it smooth?
see guys, the customer got the wrong one. This is a smooth pulley. This is grooved.
This one is without AC.
And this one is this one.
Oh, it can fit there too. But I did see that one was without AC.
So guys, you want to make sure you get the right parts. But you probably got the right parts already. so
Maybe
yeah,
I'll check the tensioner.
Yeah, let's check that tension. Let me get the tension. Okay, the tensioner looks the same. So we are definitely good with that. Alright guys, you have any comments or questions, be sure to post them in the comment section below, or you can email me direct to tim@AstralAutoRepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Timmy from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. That's a good way of checking out bearing, guys. You hold on to something and you spin it. If you can actually go like that. If you feel like a brr, or you can hear it, then you know it's bad. But this one is pretty good, so I'll let the customer know we're perfectly good. Alright, take care.